It's officially been 2.5 years since I uprooted my life in New York to try on bi-coastal living for size. But throughout the years and every visit back since moving, I've accumulated a master list of recommendations for some of my favorite restaurants, cocktail bars, bakeries, museums, galleries, vintage and secondhand shopping, parks, outdoor activities, and so much more. So buckle in, get ready to be sat, and be sure to save this video to use as your guide for your next New York City trip or adventure. Starting off strong with breakfast, brunch, and lunch. Will you be dining at Bavette? Absolutely. My favorite thing to order is the bacon, egg, and cheese or the French toast. You can't go wrong either way. If you go for dinner, they have an off-menu burger that I hear is incredible. Bubby's has his fun mimosa flight and an all-around good traditional breakfast menu. Ceremonia Bake Shop has incredible baked goods and one of the best breakfast burritos I've ever had in my life. Golden Diner is most known for these fluffy pancakes drenched in honey butter that is a gift from God, but their wings are really good too. At Rule of Thirds, you can pretty much order anything off the menu and it will be solid, but you for sure have to order this pancake that I believe is only available on their brunch menu, and get the matcha with it. The matcha is really good. I went to Baby Blue's Luncheonette for the first time recently and the food did not disappoint. I also love a good open kitchen concept. They don't accept reservations, walk-ins only, so go early or during the week to avoid the wait. Llama Inn is probably my favorite restaurant in Williamsburg for lunch and dinner, but I recently went for brunch for the first time, got the breakfast version of the Lomo and the breakfast burrito, and 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. Kima is where you want to go if you love Greek food as much as I do. Their portions are massive, you won't leave hungry, and their spicy feta dip is out of this world. Little Ruby's Cafe is probably the #1 spot I suggest when meeting people for lunch. The food, the cocktails, as well as the service, everything is just always consistently good. Los Tacos #1 has pretty much reigned supreme for tacos in New York for a hot minute now, and they've since expanded, but my favorite is their OG location in Chelsea Market. La Sandwicherie is one that I discovered recently. You have to try their turkey panini. Oh my god. S.A. Taco is one that just opened and is from the head chef at Pujol in Mexico City, so it's safe to say these tacos will take you to another dimension. If you're on the go and want a good quick burger, go to 7th Street Burger. They now have so many locations around the city and they definitely live up to the hype. On the subject of grabbing food on the go, let's jump into quintessential New York bites, bagels, and pizza. Frankel's is a neighborhood staple in Greenpoint, and they're my go-to for the classic bacon, egg, and cheese. From time to time when I want something light, I'll order a bagel with butter, but 9 times out of 10, it's a bacon, egg, and cheese, and it always hits. Leon's Bagels is a new addition to the city with one location in Williamsburg and another in NoHo, I believe. However, a new place I tried recently is Apollo Bagels, which are served open face. They have a few options on the menu, but I went for the strawberry jam and cream cheese on a sesame bagel, and it was probably the best bagel I had in a very long time. The best pizza is the great debate of New York. For me personally, it's always and forever going to be Margarita's Pizza in Jamaica, Queens. I practically grew up in the place, so perhaps I'm biased, but till this day, I never had a better slice. My second favorite slice, or square rather, would definitely be from Prince Street Pizza. You can't go wrong whether you go with the Spicy Spring, Prince Perfection, or the Vodka Square. It's a must if you're in the Soho area. I find that in most people's top 5, it's usually Lindustry or Scars. Lindustry is most known for their burrata slice, which isn't necessarily my favorite. I enjoy their traditional margarita slice, and they usually have a seasonal sandwich special of some kind. But Scars Pizza is undoubtedly the gem of the city, at least downtown. My favorite slices to get are the margarita, the pepperoni, or the mushroom. I really enjoyed Finney when they first opened, particularly their margarita and white cheese slice. I did try one of their grandma squares recently and it left much to be desired, but they still rank high on my list. Roberta's is great to go with a friend or group of friends as they don't serve by the slice. My favorite pie is hands down the bee sting. For a traditional New York slice, there's always going to be artichoke and of course Joe's Pizza, which is probably most popular and has the most locations, but my favorite location is for sure Bedford and Williamsburg. Matcha, matcha, matcha. Or simply just my favorite cafes in the city. I am personally not a consumer of coffee. However, it's safe to say that these places have also been vetted by coffee aficionados, so you're at liberty to pick your poison as you desire. #1 on the list is for sure Land to Sea. I have not had a bad cup of matcha ever from there. They also have really good pastries like this bolo bao or skewered sugar donut. I even go there to work sometimes. The people are just an absolute delight. Shout out to Eva and Emily. That being said, my go-to in Manhattan, specifically downtown, is absolutely La Cabra. I don't know what they put in their matcha, but it always has me on cloud nine. And they're also known for their cardamom bun, which is divine as well. Arabica is where I go when I'm in Dumbo. They recently opened a Soho location. I just don't find it to be as good as the one in Dumbo. Dreamer's Coffee House is one that I discovered recently during my last trip, and I am definitely going to be back. Love the environment and love the matcha. Do Not Feed Alligators is one that came up post-pandemic, and I'm not that crazy about their matcha latte, but their matcha lemonade is incredible. They also serve baked goods and wine, so a good option if you're in the mood to shake things up. Two other places that I found is Brooklyn Ball Factory, and wow, you can get their matcha not just in 16 ounce but also a 22 ounce, and I'll just tell you now, if you like your matcha sweet, go for the 22. You won't be disappointed. Another one is Blank Street Coffee. They had a blueberry matcha on the menu and my mind was blown. Rhythm Zero, I believe, is still a hidden gem. It's tucked away in the back streets in Greenpoint, an awesome place to get work done, grab a coffee or matcha. They also have croissants and other pastries. I am very much a creature of habit, and Bonnie's has been in the rotation for a while now. It's a Cantonese restaurant with super fun and unique menu items, but my favorite would have to be the McRib, which is obviously their spin on the McDonald's McRib. And I can tell you right now, you're not getting this type of McRib at McDonald's. Do Chat is a fairly new discovery that I have since gone back to every visit, but it's a great place to go to for a date night or a girls' night. I think that I've tried almost everything on the menu and everything is delicious. I may have gone to Casa Publica in almost every New York vlog over the last few months. If you want a tasty margarita and good food, this is the place. My favorites are the strawberry margarita, the yellowfin tuna tostada, and the chicken tacos. The guac and chips are a must too. If you listen to nothing else I say in this video, please, I'm begging you, go to Double Chicken Please. The front room, also known as the Coop, has cocktails on tap, and you can also order food like one of their signature chicken sandwiches, popcorn chicken, etc. But the main event is in the back room, where you'll be given a menu of food-inspired cocktails. Mango sticky rice, cold pizza, New York beet salad, key lime pie, just to name a few. I'll just say prepare to have your mind blown. Forma might be most popular for their lunch special, which I do indulge in, but I find that I go more for dinner, for no specific reason other than convenience. It's some of the best pasta in the neighborhood at an unbeatable price, especially for the portion size. Everyone I've ever taken here has loved it, and that's Arthur & Sons. The spicy rigatoni, chicken parm, and their Caesar salad, so good. Chinese Tuxedo is so much fun, and the food is not just beautifully presented, but it tastes the way it looks. And the bartenders are not your typical bartender. There's also a speakeasy downstairs called Peachy's for a cute nightcap. Cozy Royale is on par with Casa Publica in my book. It is one of my neighborhood go-tos specifically for dinner and happy hour. The shrimp cocktail and their kale Caesar is probably one of my favorites in the city. It is kind of heavy on the anchovies, which I don't mind because I love anchovies, but if you're offended by it, this may not be the salad for you. But the main event is most certainly the dry-aged burger. Definitely one of the best burgers in the city. If you live in New York or you're traveling there for a special occasion and want more of an extravagant experience, I would recommend celebrating at Carbone, the Polo Bar, Tatiana, or Don Angie. However, I will note nabbing a reservation at one of these places is comparable to playing the Olympics, but it is worth it. Now diving into a setting that I think we all appreciate in the summer, a good rooftop. El Nico is located in the Penny Hotel in East Williamsburg. The food is nothing special, oysters are great, drinks are great, really you're going for the vibes. Next up is Lily Star. The food here is so good, and the views are also next level. This one is located inside of the new Moxie Hotel in South Williamsburg. In the city, my favorite rooftop would have to be RH in the Meatpacking District, which is at the top floor of the Restoration Hardware store. This one is definitely more on the chic and fancier side of the scale, so when I'm in a mood to dress up really nice and eat good food, specifically their lobster roll with truffle fries, this is where you'll find me. I absolutely adore Bar Blondo. It's located at the top of the Wythe Hotel in Williamsburg, attracts such a fun crowd, has a great selection of menu items, and their fried chicken dish is unforgettable. I am someone who isn't a big fried chicken person, so that says a lot. And this is the perfect segue to our next category on the list, which is pre-game and late night options. Sauced is perfect if you're in a natural wine and a low-key sort of vibe. They do have little bites, nothing too grand, but a little something for you to enjoy along with your wine. And the garden in the back is absolutely perfect. As for Janice, it's a speakeasy in the back of Upside Pizza in Greenpoint. It has a great ambiance along with a wide selection of cocktails to choose from. And they're usually playing throwback R&B, which I love. If you go, you have to get the cheese bread and the cannoli. Tigre is a new gem in the LES. It gives upscale Studio 54 vibes. The people and the drinks here are also incredible. I love Elephant, especially for their really interesting and quirky, borderline risque artwork and decor. It's great for a pregame, and they also offer dinner, but I recommend sitting at the bar and chatting it up with the bartenders. If you're craving the best chicken sandwich you'll ever have in your life, you want to go to the Commodore. Inside is a little divey and gets packed quick, so if you can grab a seat outdoors, that would be most ideal. They're also known for their daiquiris, so you definitely want to grab one of those too. Eavesdrop is a hi-fi bar in Greenpoint. You want to try to book a reservation if you can in advance, or the wait can be a little heavy. Everything from the atmosphere to the food to the drinks, they don't miss a beat. Angel Share is forever a classic. And Public Records is another hi-fi bar with a vegan food menu. I will say that I really enjoy the mushroom tacos and always enjoy their cocktails. They also have live DJ events a few times a week, so you can check out their website to view their events calendar. The Nines has a great burger. I cannot believe I didn't take a video, and they serve complimentary popcorn. You have to go. Maison Premiere is another one that has been highlighted in a few vlogs because they're just that good. It's a New Orleans inspired oyster bar that completely makes you feel like you've been taken back to another point in time. Obviously, you guys see by now that I'm obsessed with the oysters, and their selection is vast, in addition to their other seafood menu items and cocktails. High Lot is perfect for a low-key date night or a post-dinner nightcap. Just be sure to make a reservation. Banzer Bar is a speakeasy inside of Freeman's and probably seats about 10 people at a time. The space is really intimate, and the bartenders take their time walking you through the menu, the history behind certain spirits, and overall a very unique and special experience. I love Banzer Bar. Gare's in Dumbo, and when I tell you the pasta is amazing, but these potatoes with sriracha aioli blew my mind, and I dream about it every so often. Now, I'm not one with much of a sweet tooth, but when I do have it, which is usually around that time of the month, I'm very specific about what I want. This soft serve at Cafe Lilia is unlike any ice cream I've ever had in my life. They top it off with olive oil, fennel, sea salt, and trust me, it's a must try. Libre is known for their pastries, specifically their pistachio and rose croissant, and they have a good matcha too, so if you're in the Lower East Side, definitely check them out. L'Appartement 4F is in Brooklyn Heights, and they sell out pretty quick, so the earlier you can get there, the more luck you'll have getting your hands on one of their staple pastries. I personally love their raspberry almond croissant. Softside is like an elevated Mr. Softy, and I'm obsessed with rainbow sprinkles, so that just makes it 1,000 times better. As for Chip City, while I appreciate their rotating cookie menu, my favorite will always be the confetti cookie. Radio Bakery usually has a line down the block unless you go during the week and get there early. If you want a good pastry or baguette, this is the place. I do find their plain croissant to be underwhelming, so order that at your own risk, but the headliner here for me is most definitely the ham and rosemary butter baguette. You will thank me. And lastly, if you have a taste for something sweet and unique, you want to go to Supermoon Bakehouse. And if they have the passion fruit donut or the blackberry focaccia, you have to get it. Just give it a try and let me know what you think. New York is one of the largest hubs for art, and as an art kid, I cannot begin to put into words how the city has helped shape my eye, my taste, and attention to detail as a result of exposure to various forms of art and creativity. I have always enjoyed just popping into galleries or museums to see what's new and on view, or spending hours on hours in bookstores, flipping through pages of art, fashion magazines, and books. My favorite museums in the city would have to be the Whitney, which also has a photo booth in the gift shop, so that's a plus, the Guggenheim, and the MoMA. I am a huge fan of modern art, and these museums, in my opinion, highlight modern day artists in really cool ways through the curation of their exhibitions. One of the things I love about New York is that there is no shortage of parks and outdoor space, especially during the warmer months, because it's the first telltale sign that an influx of outdoor activities is about to be on the rise. And some of my favorite things to do during this time are go for long walks, have a picnic in the park, go see an outdoor movie, eat outside at restaurants, or just simply explore. It's also a great excuse to get out more during the day and get more steps in. Even around the holidays when the temperature is at its lowest, there are still festivities and events taking place. The winter markets, tree lighting, ice skating rinks, it's a magical place year round. If ever you're looking for something to do in general or for a special occasion, check out Time Out New York because they update their website daily with tons of events happening in and around New York. And over the years, some of these parks highlighted have hosted outdoor concerts and movie nights during the summer months. So definitely check that out if you're interested as well. If you're not new here, you know that about 80 to 90% of my closet is secondhand. And I think that has been a case for me since high school because we are so spoiled with endless thrift, vintage, and secondhand stores in New York. There are so many options to buy, sell, and trade, with the only exceptions being the flea markets, which are seasonal. But these are all of my go-tos for high to low end, vintage, new, secondhand, or designer. If you live in New York and you're anything like me, I like to always make sure I have an extra tote bag on me or that I'm using a big enough tote bag for that day just in case I end up scoring any gems. And if you're traveling to New York, I always recommend that you either pack light or bring an empty carry-on or luggage. Now, obviously, you're going to need to get to all of these places, and the upside about a city like New York is that there are various options for modes of transportation. Now, if you've been to New York or you're planning a trip to New York and have been doing your research, then you may already know about the transit system there. I personally love the train, but you definitely do need to keep your wits about you. If you're visiting during the warmer months, spring to summer, summer to fall, my favorite way to get around is usually by walking. If there's a walking path on a bridge, I'm going to do it, or grab a city bike as they're super easy to access. And my newfound favorite is the ferry. We have so many different ferries and routes throughout the city, and even to and from certain boroughs. If I'm traveling a distance and there's a ferry that can get me to where I'm going and the weather permits, I'm gonna take it. And I think that everyone at least once in their life should take the ferry in New York. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. That is it for my New York City guide. If you found this video to be helpful or learned something new, be sure to like, share with family or friends visiting New York soon or wanting to explore New York a little bit more. And of course, subscribe if you aren't already and you like to stick around. Feel free to drop any questions in the comment section below. And I appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. XOXO.